Hello and welcome to Messy Science with Miss Laura, the very first of my science experiment videos I'm attempting inside my home. Bear with me as I'm alone and recording on my phone, so I couldn't quite get the table in my shot, but I will hold everything up and it's all going to center around this water right here. So this is an experiment called Fireworks in a Jar, although mine today I guess is Fireworks in a Glass. And this is an experiment that we did last summer as part of our Messy Science program. It's nice and easy, something that you can do at home, and it looks really cool. And here's the equipment, supplies, ingredients you'll need. I've got some vegetable oil here, usually something that people would have, and some food coloring. You can pick out a couple colors that you like. I chose 3, green and red, pink and blue. I have a clear container with some warm water in it, almost filled all the way to the top. And I have a little bowl to mix some things in. I've got my safety glasses. There will be no explosions in this experiment, but I think safety glasses make everything more fun and exciting, sort of have that edge of danger. I also have this tiny whisk. You can use a fork if you don't have a tiny whisk, but if you have a tiny whisk, I mean, use it. Why else? It's so much fun. So what we're gonna do is create some fireworks in a jar. So we have in a glass. We have our warm water here. I'm going to pour some oil into this little bowl. About 3 or 4 tablespoons. I'm not gonna measure it. Sometimes in science you have to be very precise. This is not one of those times. You can just pour some oil in like so. And then I'm going to throw in a couple drops each of my different colors. So we've got oil. Gonna throw in some green, greenish yellowish. Notice how it's just kind of sitting there in the little droplets. This will be important. There will not be a test. This will just be important. Some red. Oh, it's so cool when you drop it in there. And some blue. You can see they're not really mixing in there at all. They're just sitting there in their little droplets. See that? Isn't that cool? Now you can use your fork or your tiny whisk and mix it in until there's a bunch of little speckles. See how all the speckles are just kind of sitting in there? It looks kind of muddy actually, or sort of like glitter. All right, then we're gonna slowly pour it into our glass. So you take a look at the glass here and see what happens when I pour in the oil. All right, now the very first thing you'll probably notice is that all the oil is sitting on top of the water. So that is because oil is less dense than water. That means it's lighter than water, so water's a little bit heavier. So the oil sits on the top, but the food coloring, which you can see is starting to create little fireworks, the food coloring is heavier than the oil, so the food coloring sinks into the water. And when it hits the water, it starts to dissolve. So when it was in the oil, it wasn't really mixing at all. See those little speckles? The oil doesn't want to mix with the food coloring, they're separate. But man, when you add food coloring to water, it just dissolves, and it's dissolving pretty quickly. So it's quickly turning into kind of a mysterious looking swamp, but right at the beginning you could see those cool little bursts of color. Now it's looking really crazy. It'd be interesting to see a different combination of colors. I added a lot of blue, that's why it's so dark. It's turning very murky. If you do this at home, try it with maybe less food coloring, maybe that was why it's so dark, and different colors to see what happens. But it was cool to see that reaction, and now it's real dark. But you can see that, look, the oil is still sitting on top. The oil doesn't want to mix at all. The food coloring goes down and wants to mix with the water. I think that's pretty neat. Now don't drink your experiment when you're done, even though it might look like, I don't know, a tempting drink. Don't drink it. I hope you enjoyed this Messy Science video. I had fun making it. Hopefully there'll be more to come. I just have to see what else I have in my cabinets. Thanks, and talk to you guys later.